Well, there's an interesting sign of the times we live in at the moment. I saw an advert that's saying 95% sales drop for Jaguar cars caused by the DEI aspect of the advertising campaign. And in actual fact, it was a lie. It wasn't the DEI aspect of the advertising campaign, although it may have contributed a little bit. It was the fact that Jaguar didn't make any cars last year. In 2024 they stopped making cars, and so sales this year are down a lot because there aren't any cars to buy, of course. As Jaguar transitions into this quote EV future. There's a dog too. So the other thing that happened, I saw today, or I think happened yesterday, was Jeremy Corbyn has announced that he's forming a new party to counteract, to war against the Labour Party that kicked him out for anti-Semitism, for being against racism. That's interesting. Because Keir Starmer is a racist. It's as simple as that. So Jeremy Corbyn has founded an anti-racist party. It's anti-war and it's anti-racist. The interesting thing is that they asked him, are you going to be the leader of this party? And he didn't answer. He said, you see what I've done in my life? Said, I'm here to serve. And that's wonderful, because Jeremy Corbyn would be a natural leader of such a party, and it would be good if a natural leader stood forward and allowed nature to organise his party. And it seems, say, there's not much organisation in his party, they don't know what they're going to do. Well, that's good, because you can't know what you're going to do. And so perhaps there's hope for the world. Perhaps we're all learning at the same time about the dangers of organisation, the dangers of false leaders taking over, because that's what happened to Jeremy Corbyn. Was the Labour Party leader, natural leader, and he was taken out by a military coup. The Israeli lobby backed Keir Starmer to take over the Labour Party, so that when the Conservative Party failed, they'd have control of the next party in line for the government. This is how they operate. Yeah. So there's a war going on. It's a funny thing. And there's an important teaching, because one doesn't want to make the Ghandi mistake and say, oh, you guys can't fight war. No. The teaching is, do nothing to stop anything happening. Do nothing to stop anything happening. Because it's all happening automatically. If you try to stop the world, say, no, oh my God, don't do that. Try to control it. The better way is to say, observe and say, I'm out of here. Or, if you haven't learned that lesson, you can be part of the action. You can be part of the fighting, the one side against the other side. Yeah? And the fighting is necessary, because we had this DEI thing. Yeah? And this DEI was terrible, evil lie. A product of racism, complete and utter racism, DEI. Complete and utter racism. So there had to be a war, a fight against it. And God raised up a Messiah to fight this fight. A Messiah of the likes of Julius Milano, just like him. His name was Donald Trump. And Donald Trump single-handedly massed his forces against DEI and got rid of it, killed it dead in the water. And Jaguar is its last gasp, and it's gone. It's gone, DEI. And DEI is a product of Judaism. The science of Judaism evolved into, it's split into two. It became capitalism and communism. That's it's Jewish intellectual thought. And so DEI is coming out of Marxism. It's coming out of a thing called critical theory. Critical theory was developed by a Jewish man in Germany, yeah, out of his studies of the teachings of Karl Marx. He was also a Jewish man. It's the evolution of Jewish thought, and out of critical theory comes critical race theory and other critical theories. And it's all a pack of nonsense. It's all a mental construction. It's just got no relationship to reality whatsoever. And so there needs to be a war fight against this. Otherwise this lie will take over the world. So wherever there's a lie in the world, God rises up an army to fight against it. Okay, now Donald Trump gets into office. Now Donald Trump gets into office telling all the people that he's against war, which is against killing, and he's for the people, okay? Doesn't say, I'm for the big, wealthy monopolies of the world. He doesn't say that. No, he says, I'm for the people. And then he gets into office, and he just does everything for the big monopolies of the world, yeah? And sure, he destroys DEI very effectively. Yet, now we have the SWAT police, what they called, this terrible, brutal assault of immigrants going on in America. Brutal. It's absolutely brutal. There's no need to treat anybody the way these police think they can treat. And Donald Trump is like the gangster boss of all this lot, yeah? He thinks it's great that they do all this. And he doesn't think the masses should have any freedom at all. In fact, he doesn't give a damn about the masses. All he gives a damn about is that the masses vote for him. And then he gets power to do what he wants to do. So that's good. He used that power to destroy DEI. And hopefully we've seen the end of these pride things and these flags that they stole from the rainbow people. The rainbow people had a flag, it was a rainbow flag. And these, I don't know what you call them, I can never remember their name. The devil himself stole the flag. They can't invent their own flag. They've got to steal somebody else's flag. Okay? And that's what these people do. They can't create anything. They've just got to copy. Yeah? Maybe you got all these copyists, and they just copy each other until their copying stuff has become so ridiculous that it's got to go. And so now all that pride stuff, it's got to go. You know, you can't be proud about all that stuff. You want to be ashamed of that. Stay at home. You know, do it in your own back garden. Don't come and do it in front of our children. Yeah, we don't want that in front of our children. Get that right in your head. So that fight has been fought and it's been won. And these signs of 95% sales loss of Jaguar because of DEI and all that stuff, yeah, that's a nail in the coffin. Okay, and now we've got the racism of this anti-Semitist movement, which is just a racist movement. Racism on behalf of Israel. And that's got to come to an end as well. And thank God, Jeremy Corbyn is like the Trump of the UK, risen up by God to fight that racism of that cry of anti-Semitism, which is racism, against the Semites, the seed spreaders. Now, it's necessary not to fight and argue with people, if you can help it, and to live peaceful lives. Yet, if you're called to fight wars for causes, that's what you have to do. It's not my business to stop anybody from doing that. So do nothing to stop anything. Yeah. I know Jeremy Corbyn's probably making a mistake to form another organised political party. Thank goodness he's doing it. Yeah. He needs to fight that fight. He hasn't got his tie on, you know. He's not a gentleman yet. You have to fight some fights to become a gentleman, and Jeremy Corbyn may be getting his strength to actually go that next level, to come out of the mass of humanity and become a gentleman. It's the first step on the journey. You know. Perhaps he will earn that by the work he's going to do with this new political party. I don't know. And now we're fighting against the Trumps of this world, because now we've got to get rid of the warmongers. Trump is a killer, a murderer. He murdered thousands of people, murdered them, yeah? Sitting in the desert having a meeting without weapons. He murdered them all with a great big bomb, yeah? And he's done other murders as well. So I have no truck with murderers. Anybody who murders anybody got it really, really big wrong. Really big wrong mistake. And so those who kill by fire will die by fire, will go to the fire in the end. And so Trump is finished as far as all that stuff goes. And so we need a replacement. We need a replacement. We need a new political party. Somebody else, like Jeremy Corbyn, who can fight the good fight. The Democrats can change, like the Republicans changed when Donald Trump joined them, be taken over by somebody. I don't know. God will engineer it. A proud nation will come into direct contact with a lesser nation, like Moses said, and the two will come into conflict and will experience fire. Now those at the higher level of the order of poets, bards and druids, the druids I'm talking about, not the poets and the bards. The poets and the bards have got to fight the good fight. The bards more than the poets. The druids need to be the peacemakers of the world, the peacemakers, yeah. And to carry the wisdom which sees everything in reality as it is, as it's going down in the world. To keep that view now it's interesting to watch Keir Starmer, because for some reason I've been remembering his name. And I feel a bit sorry for him actually, because maybe he's becoming a better man than he once was. This can happen to a person that as he experiences resistance and to his viewpoints, he starts to examine his viewpoints, and his viewpoints can change and transform by his exposure, and he can become a better person. Likewise, Donald Trump may well turn from the dark side and become his true anti-war self. It's possible, yeah. If he doesn't, somebody else will have to deal to him, yeah. If we understand this, then we can come to whatever it is we're trying to learn easily, in the easiest possible way. We need to be open to re-examining our ideas. What we thought was a rule might only be part of the rule. Normally it's just we haven't misunderstood something, we just haven't seen the bigger picture, the bigger rule, that takes precedence over the lower rule. Yeah? If, for instance, you can't fight a war if you're outgunned and outmaneuvered. You can't do that. It's crazy to do that. And it's necessary to understand that. Yet, if you have an uprising and you're strong, and it's a danger to the education of the children and so on, you can take steps to keep it in check. Yeah. And in the end, nature is controlling all of that. And nature is organising all of that. And nature is putting each one of us in a position to decide, will we go to the light side or will we go to the dark side? Yeah? Which side will we go to? And the light side is the one of service, and the dark side is one of selfishness, consideration of our own ends. What do we want? And the light side is what's good for everybody. What's good for everybody? Not just me, not just the couple I'm in, that's selfishness too. Not just the group I'm in, that's selfishness too. The Jews did that and look what happened to them. No, it's what's good for the entire humanity. And it's got to be more than that. It's got to be what's good for the animals, what's good for the whales, what's good for the birds. It's got to be more than that. What's good for the trees, what's good for the grass, what's good for... But it's got to be more than that. What's good for the minerals, what's good for the diamonds, what's good for the crystals in the world. And there's going to be more than that. What's good for the rocks in the world? What's good for the cliffs of the world? What's good for everything? What's good for the rivers of the world? What's good for the seas of the world? And that's the opposite of the dog. That is the pigeon cooing. That's the dove cooing. You see how nature is giving you signs to show the truth of what I'm saying. Now everything I've said to you is the truth, and all I ask is that you believe me. Believe that I am telling the truth. You don't have to believe in me. Jesus didn't want you to believe in him. He didn't want you to believe that Jesus is your saviour. Not that. No, that's an idea. You just have to believe that he was telling the truth when he was speaking. That's all. And that's all I ask of anybody. Believe me, I'm telling the truth. Everything's coming from the truth. And I'm just a man like any other man. There's no difference between me and anybody else. I want the best for everything on this planet, the best. I don't want any special treatment for me. Yet, it's necessary that man respects the journey to the avatar of synthesis, the great pathway of life, that understands it, gets on it, and starts to do the work, to uphold righteousness where it's necessary, and to start to teach the children what's good, and to hold the wisdom that we've been given in the world, to look after it, pass it on from one generation to the next. That's enough. I think this is a one video. Thanks for watching.